It's time for the final Zoom Room, 5 days of Royal Ascot, and we're here for the Saturday. Silvestre De Sousa, such an honourable gentleman for Star Sports, despite the fact that he does not have a ride, as you hear, winner all right behind me here at Leopardstown, where the Lightning Seeds are about to play. Silvestre is still here to give his opinions on the big races on day 5. We're also joined by Bill Esdaile, and we'll get through 2 big races, and then we'll go through the rest of the card as well. And just to mention the offers with Star Sports, pipped at the post if you're beaten second, half a length for less, or half a length or less, you get your win stake back up to 50 quid. And mind the gap, this is 1 race per day at Royal Ascot. Place an each way bet on any selection, and we'll refund your place stake as a free bet up to 25 quid if your horse finishes out of the places, but within 5 lengths of the winner. That applies to selected race between 5 furlongs and 1 mile 2. And in a long distance race, place an each way bet on any selection, and we will refund your place bet as a free bet up to 25 quid if your horse finishes out of the places, but within 10 lengths of the winner. And that applies to races selected over 1 mile 3 or further. Sil, we're talking after day 3 of Royal Ascot, a controversial finish to the first race in which you were an honourable third. I just want to get your view on this, because Ruby Walsh has chimed in, other jockeys and former jockeys have chimed in. 10-day ban for Paul Hannigan, but he keeps the race. What did you make of it?
Well, I thought it was a bit misunderstood from the stewards. How come one could get 10 days and still hold the race, you know? And in anywhere else, that race will be disqualified. Obviously, it's hard to see a jockey being disqualified, but you know, I don't think they hold the right result today.
It was very controversial, Bill.
It was controversial, and you know, Silva's being diplomatic. He's got to be diplomatic as a jockey, and it was a strange situation because the eventual winner finished clear, but he took out a horse that might have beaten him and finished third, and another horse that could have beaten him too that finished fourth. And look, the rest of the world's watching on. It's a bit of a shambles. The jockey Paul Hannigan, who won it, got a 10-day ban, as you say. Silv picked up a 4-day ban, and I'll comment on his behalf. I thought that's extraordinary that he picked up that ban. Look, it's one of those things, and it shows you the tight margins. But poor old Silv, you're just on the verge of having a Royal Ascot winner. I think you thought the whole way through you were going to win. Silv held on, had a lot of horse underneath him, got checked up, got no room, got bumped. But I suppose that's racing. And the good thing about Silv is he smiles, win or lose.
Yeah,
on cue.
Funny enough, still, like generally, I like the sort of British and Irish rule, which says the best horse holds on to the race. But if you give a jockey a 10-day ban, it just doesn't sit easy with me, because his indiscretion is so much that it's kind of like, well, how do you hold on to the race then, and you have a winner of Royal Ascot?
Yeah, well, probably I would not win the race in the day, but I'll go moving places. But definitely the winner would get disqualified to behind the horses he's interfered to, you know. We ride in day in, day out, and we should know where the ground we're going.
Yeah, good diplomacy and good views from Sil. We're going to go straight to the Platinum Jubilee now. This is a fascinating race because 3-year-olds don't run in this in Leicester Southern Hemisphere 3-year-olds, which brings us to the favourite. And obviously, in the case of Home Affairs, we have Chris Waller, who's bidding to win his second big sprint of the week. Extremely impressive winner earlier on in the week on day 2 and day 1 in the sprint. Would you want to be on this horse, Sil, or would you want to be on a horse that maybe will be held up to come for a run? Because you imagine Home Affairs is likely going to make the run in here.
And I think he's the best horse in the race when you look at his form, his background. And, you know, the only horse I think could give a bit of running for his money is John Queen's horse, Highfield Princess. And she's been consistent. And but he's outstanding horse. He should be the best one in the race, you know.
What do you make of it, Bill? Because Creative Force, if he can bounce back, obviously disappointed Maidan the second run, but he loves Ascot. He'll probably be able to sit off the pace. I think it might be just hard for the favourite to go gate to wire here. What do you make of it?
Yeah, well, it's a bigger field than we all thought. You know, we're nearly 30 runners in this field, which is going to bring surprises, as it always does. Favourite Home Affairs, don't forget he beat Nature Strip 2 starts back, and that form looks all right when you look back on Tuesday. So he's a kind of sub 2-to-1 shot in a big 20+ runner field. Look, he'll probably win, and I use the word probably because he is the best horse in the race. And look, the Aussies are confident they're going to get this job done. Looking down the list, I agree with Silv that Highfield Princess will go well. You know, she's been running well all season, but I'd say the one I'm going to go for 2 at big prices. The other Aussie runner, Artorias, there's no way this horse should be 16s. He's a hold-up horse. Jamie Spencer will bury him out the back. If they go too fast and there's some pieces to be picked up, I think Artorias at 16s is probably a really good price. And the other one is just, look, the rain looks like it's going to miss Ascot now. And it's going to be rapid, fast ground and double or bubble. Nearly 50 to 1, 40 to 1, generally double or bubble. I think could hit the frame. There's, extra places being paid, left, right, and centre. Double or bubble loves fast ground, is in great form, can travel well in a strong run race. I just think could hit the frame in a wide open race. But Artorias and double bubble would be the two for me.
Before we get on to the Wokingham sale, what was the ground like on day 3 if they don't get any more rain?
I was a good ground, to be honest. Like, consider like the heat we have, and I think the horse done a great job. Was plenty water underneath and didn't feel right, like fast. Was just like with a nice caution, and the horses was enjoying. I thought they was well done to the Classic horse.
As we mentioned, Sil is at Newmarket on day 5 of Royal Ascot. He's not riding at Royal Ascot. But if you were, Sil, for the 5 o'clock and you had your chance to win the 94.5 grand and your share of the 94.5 grand, what would you ride?
I'm a big fan of a horse here, and Black Road, Michael Dodds. I think he's an improving horse. And, we saw him win his first time this year at Newmarket. I think the race is kind of made up for him. So, and I like, if I would like to sit on a horse, I would pick him. He's a 10th one, probably somewhere like that,
So you think of 100, he's basically better than this?
I think so. I won on the horse in the past, and I thought myself he would be the horse to be improving, and he proved to me in this year. He has one, and usual Michael's horse take one run to win, and he's came and done straight away at Newmarket, and I think was a bit more in the tank.
Yeah, when Sil won on him at Newmarket, he was rated 87. The last day he won on him at Newmarket, Bill, he was rated 95, which brings him up to 100. Progressive sprinter.
Yeah, he is. He is very progressive. He's a 4-year-old going places, and he'll be amongst the market leaders. I think he's got every right to win a race like this. I think he's very good. Look, it's wide open. I'd rather swing the bat at a couple of big prices. I think will run well. The first one of those is the horse that was beaten in a photo in this 2 years ago, Summer Hand. David O'Mara's team are in great form. He's back down to the same mark, that 101 that he was just touched off in that photo 2 years ago. James Doyle, fun enough, rode him that day too. He was 6th last time, caught the eye, looks like he might be on the comeback trail. He's nearly kind of, I think he's about 25 to 1, Summer Hand, generally, maybe bigger. I just think he might run well in a race like this. And the other horse I quite like is Archie Watson's horse, Tabdeed. I was up at Haydock to watch my old horse, King of Stars, run, and Tabdeed finished in front of us. We were 4th and Tabdeed was 3rd. But everything that Archie Watson's run this week has been in cracking form. And I just thought Tabdeed stepping back up to 6 furlongs with Holly Dore riding at about 18, 20 to 1 was the value in the race. So yeah, I'll go in with Summer Hand and Tabdeed in this.
And in these sprints, Sil, is it any real relevance where you're drawn?
Pardon?
Is it any real importance where you're drawn in these sprints?
I think so. But it's very important. But when you're in the middle, and I like to be in the middle to the high draw, I think it's always help, And but if you're in the middle, bang on, you know where to go, because you can't choose the pace where to go, especially if you are on a horse a bit handy. So it's a better way being up in the middle.
Yeah, I was just going to say on that, because today, we're recording after Wednesday. Everyone seemed to be migrating middle to low over towards the far side of the track. But it changes a lot at Ascot itself, doesn't it? Depending on where the pace is. And when we looked at the Aussie sprinters drawn high in the Golden Jubilee or the Platinum Jubilee, and then everyone will turn around and say, oh, you want to be drawn high. So it just depends where the pace is and where the jockeys go. But the going stick reading was pretty level all the way across the track, 8.86 to 8.8 across the track. So I don't think there's that much of a bias. I think it's fine.
Yeah, I suspect Sil might be smiling a little bit more than Frankie Dettori after the third day. Frankie rides Alza here, the See the Stars horse in the Chesham. And this is one of the races. The rest of the card, Bill, Alfred Munnings, this horse is a gorgeous profile, obviously, being by Dubawi making him a half brother out of best in the world to Snowfall. And this is a fascinating first race as well. Very, very hot favourite. You'll notice Michael O'Callaghan, whose horse have run so well this week, as Sil will tell you, Crypto Force, who he bought out from the Breeze Ups, sold for 900 grand at the sale on Monday, now bids for the new owner to get some money back. But all the rage here is going to be Alfred Munnings, I think, Bill.
Yeah, Alfred Munnings won well at Leopardstown, first time up by nearly 5 lengths, and is the talking horse of Irish juveniles. He's supposedly Aiden's best, isn't he? You'll know better than I will. He's going to be about 8 to 11, 4 to 6. Very short, but will he win? It's a race he's farmed in recent years, and it'll be very hard to beat. You mentioned Alzani, the horse that Frankie rides. He's got a big reputation, but was second on debut Hands and Heels ride. He'll step forward. But look, do you want to bet the favourite at 8 to 11? There'll be lots of Yankees and perms and stuff, I'm sure of it. He looks the real deal. I thought the one that was a bit overpriced in the race was Legends of Xanadu, the horse that won at Epsom recently. He's improving fast. He's got plenty of match practice. And Mick Shannon's not afraid to throw him in the deep end. He was 20 to 1. I just thought that was a massive price for him. I thought he might end up hitting the frame. But the reality is they'll probably all be chasing Alfred Mullins' hoof prints.
Before we get Bill's views and the rest of the day, did you have a little smile with Frankie today, Sil? It hasn't exactly been a great week for him.
I don't think anyone can get a smile off Frankie now. And it's been quite, the way room is like the way we'd say, it's more lives in the graveyard than there today. You know?
Yeah. I have to say, I thought Kyprios would have won the race regardless, but the Ascot Gold Cup is why we watch racing. Bill, it was just what a race.
Oh yeah, terrific race, and a good 3-way drive. And Stradivarius is a legend in his own right. He's won it 3 times, and he's 8 years old. You know, he can't keep coming back and doing it. And look, it was a race to savour, like you say.
I would just love to be a fly on the wall if Frankie and R.L. Moore had a little bit of a chat afterwards. The rest of the card, Bill, starting with Hurricane Lane. Very, very short price for a horse we haven't seen 258 days. But if he shows his 3-year-old form, obviously the Derby form and all that, he should win.
Yeah, just quickly before that, the Jersey Stakes, the 305. Look out for Noble Truth, the Godolphin horse. He's been gelded since he bolted up at Newmarket in that King Charles II Stakes. He won that by about 6 lengths. Looks a monster. Will go from the front. I thought he was quite big price at 9 to 2. I think he'll take plenty of beating. I mean, Samburo, the Gosden horse, and that's got pieces on for the first time. Could be interesting, but look, I think Noble Truth will be too good for them. 340, the Harbour you were just touching on. Look, Hurricane Lane's never raced on ground this fast. His form is brilliant. You know, we know how good he was, third in the Arc. He's a very, very talented horse. They've waited for this. He's going to be odds on. He'll probably win. I thought the Irish fast improver, that Lafayette, might be the each way horse in the race, about 18 to 1. Probably not a Group 1 horse, but the reality is he keeps improving, and you don't know the ceiling of these improvers, and he's improving at a rapid rate of knots this season at the age of 5, and I thought he could hit the frame, but it's likely that Hurricane Lane will be too good for them.
Just to give a mention to Falling Shadow as well, who is running later on in the card in the Golden Gate Stakes. That's the 5:35. He absolutely bolted up in Newbury. The form has been nicely endorsed since. I think he's actually been gelded since, which is interesting in the 32 days in which since he's run. But he's a fascinating runner for Charlie Appleby. What do you like in the rest of the card, Bill?
Yeah, look out for Mr. Cut in that, George Bowie's horse. Got a mark of, bolted up at Salisbury last time, got a mark of 95. That might underestimate it. He looks like a proper 100+ horse. Ryan Moore riding that for George Bowie. He's already had a winner here today, of course. Mr. Cut in the Golden Gates, I think, will take plenty of beating. Bit of a mess, the final race, the 6:10, the Queen Alexandra, because Trushan's been declared, but looking at the weather forecast, he ain't running again. So there's going to be a massive Rule 4s in those. So he's penciled in at 5 to 4. So don't take prices till he comes out officially on the day. Looks a straight match on paper between Falcon 8 and Wordsworth. It's a heads or tails. If you've had a good Ascot, it'll come out heads. If you've had a bad Ascot, it'll come out tails. I got
to mention as well, Falcon 8 is a brother to Kyprios, and Wordsworth is a brother to Kew Gardens. So you've got proper bred stayers here.
Yeah, terrific. And don't forget, Falcon 8 was favourite for this 12 months ago, but the rain came and it was too muddy for him. He'll enjoy the ground more. But Wordsworth, look, he's going to relish the trip. So they'll probably finish first and second. But I'm just going to mention a horse there for each way, Rushoon, the horse I put up for the Ascot Stakes that got placed on Tuesday. Terrible draw there. Had to do it quite hard, over 2.5 miles. Have won the Ascot Stakes the previous year. No forlorn hope, currently priced about 25, 28. That will contract to sub 20 when the favourite comes out, but he just may be the each way value for Ian Williams in the last.
Have you enjoyed the week?
Me? I'll tell you on Saturday.
Well, Sil, we got to ask you before you go. You're going to Newmarket. Is there anything for us to be looking out for at Newmarket?
Well, I just heard from my agent I'll be busy, so I think I got about 7 rides. I said, "Oh, is there about a time to be busy?" It's about a time to be busy, you know. And but I have not gone through the card yet, you know. But you know, I hope to have some nice rides out there, and I hope that people look out my rides.
Your agent's doing a nice job if you've 7 rides. Thanks for your help throughout the week, Sil.
Thank you so much.
And thanks to you, Bill.
Brilliant. Go and have a nice ice cream, Johnny, at Leopardstown.
Yeah, finish off my Bulmers here.
Yeah, look at that. I knew there'd be a pint there. Just
we've the getting out stakes here. We've had so many horses scratched. I'm not really sure what to back, but I might back Johnny Murtagh's horse. Thanks to everyone for watching and viewing this week. Check out the website and the app for Sil's app and all our special offers.